Welcome to the Brandon T Show. This is a place where we talk about everything that's important to the working man. When I say working man, I'm not politically correct with it at all. I'm talking about men, women, whoever out here getting it. And with that said, this is the Working Man Committee. Got some interesting stories for y'all today that y'all need to know about. I said here we do a lot of commentary on the news. And there's interesting things that you might have seen in the news, what's happening over there at Twitter. Twitter's an interesting place now. It's real interesting how, things change hands and things transpire and so forth. And like I said, there's been some interesting trends in the news and how the news is brought to you and so forth. And like I said, there's been, a lot of stuff in the financial arena. Jay Powell out there, he doing what he does and so forth. Old tools, new, same tricks. But hey, we're gonna see what he's doing and how it's gonna happen and so forth. And then, crime in general, y'all. Crime in general is interesting. You got crime here. That, look like there's been a lot of progress in. And there's crime around the world. There's, like I said, elections here, elections everywhere. There's elections showing up everywhere. And with that said, there, like I said, there's the same stories and so forth. But like I said, we're going to start today is old buddy. I call him old buddy. We're going to start with Trump. Donald Trump, former president of the United States. And this is an interesting story here. And so forth. Very interesting story. And I do believe this is a New York Times story. Trump files a lawsuit against the New York City AG, and against the vice. Interesting headline. Let's figure out why they feel that way. Okay. In this case, filed in Florida, seeking to stop Loretta James' lawsuit in New York City, and that includes Mr. Trump's signature. He has his legal advice is split on the wisdom of the filing. Okay. So, you know what? When it comes to Trump and so forth, you love him, hate him, whoever in the media. You love him, you hate him, and so it depends on what the story is, how hard they go. If you remember back, the negative stories, you watch news back when he was in office and so forth, it was negative. Then they had to look over it like, oh, he did this okay, but then negative. And so it seems like more of the same, okay? And so we're gonna look at it like this, right? So a lawsuit filed for Donald J. Trump filed Wednesday against one of his chief advisors that the New York City Attorney General. Let's see, against the advice, and this is interesting how they write this here. Let's say, so the opposed of the suit in Florida attorney who drafted it is in, hold on one second, and so his attorneys in New York City are not happy about the attorneys in Florida on Trump's side. Yeah. See, his real estate business attorney is warning that the Florida attorney might have committed malpractice by filing this paperwork for Trump. Let's see. The suit says that they're calling that Loretta is trespassing on Mr. Trump's right to privacy in Florida. Okay. And see where he lives and seeking a halt of the Silver case in New York City against the former president and his companies. See, let's go back, right? So let's give a little backstory on this. So the New York City AG investigated Donald Trump for maybe a couple years now. 2 years, looked into him, up, down, side to side, flipped every page, talked to banks, talked to, people in his company and so forth. And I guess there's nothing that came out of that that's prosecutable. So, in turn, I did not know this was even possible. That if the prosecutor in the case can't find enough to charge you with, they can just sue you for some money. Hey, dude, that'd be funny, right? You get a traffic ticket. Say you get a traffic ticket, and then you go to court. You beat the traffic ticket. That cop, officer didn't do right, and so forth, and so forth. And then next thing you know, you get a lawsuit to be like, you know what I'm saying? Even though you beat this, we're suing you for $1,000 for wasting our time. We having to look at this and so forth. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? But okay. But on Wednesday evening, Mr. Trump used his social media network, the Truth Social, to announce that his lawsuit was criticizing Mrs. James in charged language, saying that while James does nothing to protect New York City against the violent crime and criminals, she attacks great and upstanding businesses. All right. So he posted that, hey, she ain't doing nothing for the crime. She just, you know what I'm saying, she trying to do her part. You know what I'm saying? She get Trump charged with something. So you gotta realize, if they charge him with something, then that kind of puts his ability to run for president in danger, because you look like this, you can't have a record and be president of the United States of America. And so, like I said, anything they can find to stop on him from running. Back, like I said, we'll talk about this. Like I said, back in September, when James filed her lawsuits against Mr. Trump after 3 years of investigation, so it wasn't 1 or 2, 3 years of investigating his business practices, her suit accuses Mr. Trump and his family, the Trump Organization, for committing staging fraud, overvaluing assets by billions. And the assault that Mr. Trump and 3 of his children even ran businesses in the state against shutdowns in the New York City properties. Okay, I'm not understanding. So if he did this financial crimes, she's accusing of financial crimes, but it ain't enough to prosecute him on. So she wants to sue him for money. If you had stuff to charge him with in a financial crime, you wouldn't need this money crime. You didn't try to get civil money out of him. And then question too, if you did get the money, where'd the money go? Okay. But like I said though, it's a little interesting that, you know what I'm saying, so Trump is pretty much filed a countersuit to stop what she's doing. And his lawyers, per the New York Times, are split. That he shouldn't even do it. I guess the New York lawyers should say, hey, cut the check and be done with it. Who knows? I don't know. All right. And more news, social media related. Twitter. Elon Musk on Twitter has wanted to charge people who have to verify blue check. Wants to give them monthly bill to hold that check. Elon Musk has floated the idea of charging for the blue check mark. Here's what you need to know about this. So it started off at $20. He was like, you know what, $20 a month to keep your blue check. You earn the blue check, and we're gonna keep the blue check. So a few people came out against it. You know what I'm saying? Stephen King was the first one to like, if I gotta pay to be up here, I don't want to be up here. And so he says, Elon replied back to him and was like, okay, maybe we'll look at a different price. And then he came down with the, I think it was $8 a month now to keep the blue check. And then few people, like AOC, was like, freedom ain't free on Twitter. It costs you $8 for it. The funny thing, Elon's a funny dude. And then he was like, yeah, oh, good. Give me $8 so you can continue having your freedom. But then, if you don't want to be verified, then it costs you nothing. So just to use Twitter with no blue check is going to be free. But the people that are verified have to in turn charge, you would have to pay something. So it went from $20 to $8. We don't know where to end up. If it'd be something in between there, $8 is a number, or a couple dollars left. But then Elon Musk said that the reason that they're looking at charging is that Twitter's income is not, its advertiser base isn't enough to carry the company, and he's saying that they have to raise revenue in other ways. And so he was like charging this couple dollars fee would in turn help the company make money and stay solvent. And he's probably got you know what I'm saying, Twitter's one of those companies that, you know what I'm saying, is maybe a little harder to monetize, maybe. Like other companies, like Facebook has kind of pretty much got that whole arena and so forth, and Twitter's maybe a little harder to monetize, so they have to make money in different ways. And so, with that said, I mean, I think it's an interesting idea. I mean, there's a lot of subscription services for everything else. You turn your TV on, even if you cut the cord, all those little apps, you know what I'm saying, Disney Plus and all that stuff. I mean, cost you money. I mean, they're not just straight advertiser based and so forth. And so, I mean, like I said, it might be what Twitter needs and so forth. But I don't know. Depends on how y'all feel about that. All right. All right. Our next story. This is an interesting story, and I'm pretty sure it affects everybody here, especially the working man here, and so forth. Anybody that moves around, anybody that has a car. Let's see. Check this out. So, a theft ring that allegedly made millions from catalytic converters have been busted. So I know y'all seen, if y'all scour social media, Twitter, and all the rest of them, you see that there's been a lot of people that's been stealing catalytic converters. Catalytic converters. Now, why would they take catalytic converters? So this thing here that goes in your exhaust pipe, it's in the middle somewhere with the vents that, you know what I'm saying, that you need regulation, has a tad bit of platinum in it. And so what they're doing is cut these things off and junkyarding them. And so check this out. So the Justice Department has arrested 21 people in suspect of belonging to a theft ring that made millions of dollars from stolen catalytic converters. The car parts have increased because the target increasingly become a target across the country. The team of law enforcement agencies at the local, state, and federal level seized hundreds of millions of dollars of assets such as homes, bank account, cash, cars, jewelry from defendants. They are being charged with conspiracy to transport stolen catalytic converter, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and more. The federal government is seeking $540 million total in fraudulent. Dang, so they joker took that. Matter of fact, let me make sure my catalytic converter, my cars is out there. Yeah, great, it's $550. Oh, that's a lot. Let's see. The National Network of Criminals. Hurt victims across the country. The FBI Director Christopher Wray says they made hundreds of millions of dollars in processing on the backs of thousands of innocent car owners. Defendants have been charged with 2 different indictments in separate court, Eastern District of California and the Northern District of Oklahoma. So they got this in 2 courts. Okay. Let's see. 15 of the defendants across are buying catalytic converters from local thieves and shipping them to DJ Autos in New Jersey. Okay, so check this out. So they're taking the catalytic converters and then selling them to DG Autos in New Jersey. 6 people at DJ Auto are accused of buying the stolen parts, and so they're buying the stolen parts, and then they're reselling them. And in this process, $545 million. Man, these jokers take catalytic converters off every single car out there. That is ridiculous. All right, so let's take a look around the world here. And this is an interesting one. And so the former prime minister of Pakistan was shot in the lower leg. And so we got something different here about this story. There was a CNN reporter is interviewing a reporter on the ground in Pakistan. And so I'm going to let them describe the situation, what happened. And let's go.
And we understand from a spokesperson that he's been shot in the foot. Let's go to Sophia Safi in Islamabad, Pakistan. You've been speaking to officials, Sophia.
Hi, Max. Yes, this has only happened within the past 40 minutes. It happened live while Imran Khan was on day 7 of his long march towards the capital of Islamabad. It happened when, according to officials as well as party members who were with Imran Khan, have told us that shots were fired at the container, this massive truck that he was moving in. Now you have to understand that he's been surrounded by hundreds and thousands of people at these rallies.
So, I mean, that's an interesting story. I'll be shot in the leg, assassin. Yeah, well, that's crazy. But anyway, we're going on to our next story. The Fed. So just yesterday, the Fed had their meeting on the 2nd of November. And the Fed, working man, they said that inflation too high, y'all still got too much money and too much opportunity. And so he raised the Fed funds rate another 75 basis points. Yep. Like I said, old tools, trying to get the same results. So trying to slow down the economy, slow down your money, slow down business money to then in turn, hopefully that slows down inflation. Yep. So here we go. The Fed chair, Jay Powell, acknowledged that the rate hike the effects on the economy should, such as decreasing consumer spending, business investments, home purchases, and economic output. This could mean that the central bank raises the interest rate 50 basis points at the next meeting in December. And so he's like, all right, we're going to hit it again. He's like, okay, we're going to see 75. If y'all still out here got money, y'all still out here spending, and I'm telling y'all not to, we're going to hit it one more time right at Christmas. Ain't that something? They already said we might hit you with a 50. But let's be real, he really want to hit it harder. If he really could do it in the way he probably want to do it, he would probably hit, he gave a whole 2%. But I'm pretty sure after they talked about this and the White House looked at it, like, hey, Jay, your pink slip is right here on the desk. It's on the corner of the desk. You try that right here this election year of hitting them folks that hard. Don't even worry about coming to work tomorrow. Don't even worry about it. Go ahead, pack your desk up today. As soon as you finish talking and say that out your mouth, go ahead, pack your desk up right there and there. Straight out the door. Cause you know, he over here like, they ain't another help wanted signs out here. People still look like they buying Christmas. People still look like they eating whatever they want to eat. You know what I'm saying? And they still got choices where they want to clock in or not. So Jay like, nah, you gonna take this 75, and then I'm gonna hit you with another 50. That's 1.25 right there too. So like I say, he really wanted to hit you harder. Why should Jay gonna try to hit it again and get the full 2? That's my prediction on it. And then so they asked the question, Jay, where is inflation headed? The central bank may aim to prevent runaway inflation. Officials fear that once the higher prices of goods, services are entered, workers will then demand higher wages, sending prices still higher. Hold up. Let's go back to that right there. Check this out. To prevent runaway, their job is to prevent runaway inflation. Okay, bet. I got you. No, okay, runaway inflation. And it said officials fear of higher prices of goods, services, are established workers. You, the working man committee. Y'all will then demand higher wages. We need more money to pay for this stuff. We need more money to live. How dare? They're like, how dare you ask for more money for stuff? And then in theory, that would send prices higher. So it's you. It ain't about the higher, nothing else. Look, let's go back over there. Okay, prices of goods, higher prices of goods, services. Bet once that's established and ingrained, then they look at you. You ask for more money, and then in turn, you make inflation worse. It ain't about the nothing else. It's about you, working man. That once you say, "Hey, I need more money for my value," then you make inflation worse. It ain't about nothing else. It ain't about nobody else. It ain't about nothing else. Like I said, a cost of business can go up everything. Everything in a business cost can go up. And the business is okay. But if you ask for a nickel more, oh my God, whole financial system about to collapse because they got to give you more money. It's funny, right? Well, that's why minimum wage never goes up. That's why the minimum wage never go up. That's why they like a weaker dollar. Just in case if we got it, we got to give you that 2% cost of living. So we need to keep the dollar low so we don't rock the boat. Working man. That like, you would think they act like they don't need us out here producing their goods and services. Like the stuff can produce themselves. I guess that's what they really want. If they could make their widgets without you being in part of it, they would do it. Anyway, working man, we gonna keep your eyes open, stay vigilant. Like I said, these people right here out here, Jay Powell and all the officials fear that you will ask for more money. Not about the price of goods and services, but that you will ask for money, then you will have more money to spend. And then you cause inflation higher. All right. Whew. That's a bit much. All right. So, our last story of the day here is an interesting one. The way news is done differently, right? TV news. It's like our show here, you know what I'm saying? We commentate the news, and you know what I'm saying? We on our social media platforms and so forth, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere, you know, Twitter, all of those places. And at the Brandon T Show. But in turn on TV has not wanted to do that. It's like they went to more opinion. So shows like Shepard Smith, you know, he was on Fox, and then Fox canceled his type of format show where he reports news and so forth. And so he went over to CNBC and had his own shows, The News with Shepard Smith. Now that looking at that same model, is that show is being canceled and Shepard Smith is being let go. I like Shepard Smith too, really. I like the way, you know what I'm saying, he brings news and so forth, but I guess the roundup, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to use any time. I mean, he has helped their ratings, but they want to go in a different direction and talk about more financial news. So NBC Universal, parent company of CNBC, has canceled the Shepard Smith, the news with Shepard Smith. In his primetime general news show, for a refocus on business and market coverage. So I mean, the market is closed by the time Shepard comes on. I think Shepard comes on about 7 or so. I mean, people from morning to you know what I'm saying, to I guess 6, but I guess they want another show. So the network announced on Thursday in an email to employees that Shepard Smith will be leaving the network later this year, according to a person familiar with the matter. They will replace this show with the market coverage until they find a new live show focused on business news that will launch next year. Like I said, after spending time with many of you in close review of various aspects of the business, we believe that most prioritize and focus on the core strengths of the business news and personal finance. From the president, C.K. Sullivan said in the email, as a result of the strategy aligned of core business, we need to shift some of our priorities and resources and make difficult decisions. So TV news is not what it used to. Like I said, a lot of competition. They don't own a monopoly of anything no more. Like shows like mine and other things that you can find on various other platforms that don't cost hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. You don't pay $1 million anchors and so forth, and got 50, 60 people working on it. So, like I said, I like what Shepard does, though. I mean, I like the format he does. I mean, I kind of, look at, when we think about creating this show, is more of a, roundup commentary and so forth. I like, but like I said, Chef doesn't really do opinions. He just brings straight what's happening. And like I said, I hope there's landing spot. Maybe Chef probably be on, move to a similar platform as we are. Yeah, so with that being said, y'all, like I said, it's interesting things, crazy things around the world, and crazy things here in America. Glad there's been some movement in, like I said, crime. That crime has been solved. So the catalytic converter things, because like I said, those things are expensive, and like I said, people that victimized had to buy those things and so forth, make ways. I mean, it's tight out here, and so like I said, glad they got to the top of that and so forth. And the saga with Elon Musk and Twitter, man, that's a funny one. But anyway, we're signing off. This has been the Brandon T Show, and we'll see you next time. Peace.